So picture this. It's Tuesday morning, at the office water cooler, modern town square. Two people whispering intensely next to the water cooler, with a third person looking suspicious. You're filling your cup for hydration. Then, you hear it. The quiet, almost silent whispers. Brenda and Kevin huddled, heads bowed like they're discussing state secrets. Brenda leans in, cups her hand over her mouth. Kevin's eyes go wide. You can't hear the words, you see the reaction. No way. You're kidding me. Tell me everything. This is the sacred ritual of office gossip. It's the lifeblood of the workplace. Under every meeting, every email, every forced smile in the hallway. You pretend not to notice. You fill your cup and take an extra long sip. You walk away. Your mind is racing. Suddenly it feels like a spy movie. You're the extra who might be next. This plays out every day in every office worldwide. Gossip, the original social network. Let's be honest for a second. We all say we hate office gossip. Toxic, unprofessional, a waste of time. But secretly, we kind of live for it. It's the guilty pleasure of the 9-to-5 grind. Think about it. The official company announcements are always so dry, so corporate, so sanitized. We are pleased to announce a strategic realignment to optimize synergistic growth. What does that even mean? It means someone's getting fired. But the official memo will never say that. It's the gossip network that gives you the real story, the unfiltered director's cut. The problem is, this unofficial news network is notoriously unreliable. The information gets twisted, exaggerated, and sometimes completely fabricated as it passes from person to person. Misinformation breeds anxiety, erodes trust, and can turn a perfectly fine workplace into a hotbed of suspicion. Managers try to shut it down. HR sends out stern emails about professionalism. But you can't stop it. Trying to ban gossip in an office is like trying to ban weather. It's how humans bond, how we form alliances, and how we make sense of our social environment. It tells the unwritten rules of the office. Who's in, who's out, who's getting promoted, who's getting sidelined. It's a complex web. Information, half-truths, pure speculation. Navigating it, not taught in business school. This is where things get wild. This is where Silicon Valley steps in. We have an app for that. Imagine a tool so powerful it can sift through all the digital chatter in your workplace. The emails, the Slack messages, the Teams chats, and tell you exactly what people are feeling. Not just what they say, but what they mean. Positive, negative, neutral. It goes deeper. Detects sarcasm, frustration, excitement, fear. It's like a mood ring for your whole company. For decades, companies used clumsy tools, annual surveys, clunky, easy to lie on, and always outdated. AI sentiment analysis changes the game. It works in real time, observing raw, unfiltered communication and aggregating it. It doesn't just count keywords. It weighs context, punctuation, emojis, and patterns to assign emotional weight. The phrase, "I love my job," is positive. "I love how my computer crashes," is dripping with sarcasm. Individually, messages are small. Collectively, they form a vivid emotional map. AI connects those dots. It can surface alerts, spikes in frustration, rising anxiety, and give HR a backstage pass to real trends. This is our digital Sherlock Holmes, reading between the lines to reveal impact. Next, how the AI actually reads the room without being in the room. All right, so how does this magic actually work? Think of AI sentiment analysis as a super smart student you need to teach the language of human emotion. First, you feed it a massive library of text labeled by humans. Reviews, social posts, emails, millions of sentences. Humans tag examples. This sentence is happy. That one is angry. That one is sarcastic. The AI builds a huge dictionary mapping words and phrases to emotional scores. But it doesn't just look at words. It reads context, punctuation, adverbs, and emojis to weigh meaning. It learns to spot patterns that flip meaning. Sarcasm, faint praise, or thinly veiled hostility. It examines conversation flow, emotional weight, and the overall narrative of a thread. At scale, it processes thousands of messages in the blink of an eye, doing pattern recognition no human could match. Deployed on Slack, email, or Teams, it flags trends, spots spikes, and surfaces where the problem began. Important, it can be implemented to observe, not ask, passively aggregating anonymized signals. Reading between the lines, the AI gives managers a backstage pass to emotions, not private thoughts. Now let's see this in action with a real-world example. The great job, Sarah, email. Okay, so let's get into a real-world example that every single office has seen. The praise email, Great work on the Q3 report. Team, just wanted to say thank you for all the hard work on the Q3 report. Special shout out to Sarah for really stepping up. On the surface, this looks positive. But let's plug this into our AI sentiment analyzer. The AI scans the email and sees positive keywords. Then it cross-references with the private team chat that happened right after the email went out. One person, LOL, special shout out to Sarah. Another, I guess the 80 hours I put in last week didn't count. The tone here is overwhelmingly negative. The AI tags the reaction as resentment. It connects the dots and might flag a potential morale issue. Recognition efforts may be perceived as unfair. Sentiment analysis of the team chat shows a spike in frustration and a dip in morale. David's well-meaning praise backfired, creating jealousy and making others feel invisible. This is the kind of insight traditional surveys would never capture. Mark won't tell David to his face. The AI sees what the manager doesn't. The gap between intention and impact. Now HR has concrete data pinpointing where the communication breakdown occurred. That's powerful stuff. And it's actionable. Recognition practices can be adjusted to avoid resentment. Now let's look at another classic scenario. The project that's going off the rails. Let's do this. Awesome idea. At first, the channel's sentiment is off the charts positive. Collaboration and engagement. A manager seeing this data would feel pretty good. But a few weeks later, deadlines approach and problems pop up. Exclamation points turn into question marks. Awesome idea becomes, are we sure this is the right approach? As I've mentioned before, just circling back. Corporate speak for frustration. People start tagging managers. The AI's sentiment score plummets. Anxiety, frustration, conflict. The AI can pinpoint the moment the tide turned and identify key sources of friction. It can flag high-friction interactions between specific users and surface topics driving negativity. This becomes an early warning system. An alert says, sentiment in Project Phoenix dropped 40%. Leadership can intervene, clarify the budget, adjust the timeline, mediate conflicts. The AI gives managers a chance to save the project. The project doesn't just get decoded, it gets a chance to be fixed before it's too late. So, using AI to analyze our office chatter sounds amazing, right? It can help build better teams and stop problems before they start. It could tell a manager, your emails are perceived as 30% more aggressive than company average. Try more collaborative language. AI could detect unconscious bias in reviews, calling out, you're too abrasive, used disproportionately. It could make the workplace fairer and hold power accountable in new ways. But hold on, the dark side is real. This can become a digital panopticon. Imagine being afraid to make a joke in private chat because an algorithm is watching and scoring you. Companies could target employees for layoffs based on sentiment flags. Flight risk labels could be weaponized. It could silence dissent, kill psychological safety, and turn the workplace into a fearful place. People will adopt bland, corporate-approved language to avoid triggers. Real talk will move to signal or text. The company will have paid millions for an AI analyzing polite corporate jargon while the real conversations happen elsewhere. For it to be positive, implementation must be transparent, aggregated, and used for trends, not to spy on individuals. If the AI flags a manager's team as stressed, the response should be training, support, and resources, not punishment. This tool should be diagnostic, not punitive. It's about intent. Is it to control or to understand? At the heart of this debate is one word: trust. Introducing sentiment analysis fundamentally changes the social contract between a company and employees. Companies must be crystal clear about what data they collect, how they analyze it, and what they use it for. Data should be anonymized and aggregated, used to spot broad trends, not to spy on individuals. If employees feel constantly watched, they will change behavior. Real talk will move off-platform. The company will effectively blind itself, analyzing only polite corporate jargon. For success, introduce this not as surveillance but as a leadership feedback tool, with transparent policy and employee buy-in. If a team shows high stress, support the manager with training and resources, don't penalize. Ultimately, whether AI builds or breaks trust comes down to intent, control, or understanding. If a company commits to transparency and employee well-being, this tool can be revolutionary. It's a high-wire act. The safety net is trust. Next, can AI make us better humans? We're standing at a crossroads. On one path, sentiment analysis leads to a dystopian corporate future, every word monitored and weaponized. On the other path, we use this technology as a mirror, to see ourselves and our organizations more clearly. We can identify hidden biases, measure the impact of words, and teach mindful communication. What if an AI nudged you before you hit send? This message has a 90% probability of being interpreted as hostile. Rephrase. It could coach managers, improve leadership, and help coworkers be better colleagues. A hammer can build a house or break a window. The tech is neutral, humans decide how to use it. The next decade requires rules, ethics, and culture to ensure these tools make us better, not just more efficient. The whispers by the water cooler aren't going away, but for the first time we cannot just hear them, but understand them. Maybe that understanding can help us build a better way to work. If you liked this deep dive, subscribe for more. Tell us, would you want your workplace to use sentiment analysis?